You're watching 48 Fastcast.
All right, 7:01. Thanks for joining us for the 48 Fastcast. That sun shining brightly there behind us. Temperatures are going to warm big time today, so just be prepared.
Yeah, enjoy these temperatures today. I mean, overall, yesterday was beautiful as well, so a really nice start to the week, Eric.
Yeah, and it lined up nicely with President's Day. People had the day off of school. Maybe you had the day off of work. Hopefully, you took full advantage of a beautiful day in February, and today will be another beautiful day in February. Even by mid-morning, 9:30, our temperatures will be in the mid to upper 50s. We're in the mid 60s by lunchtime. I know I said this yesterday, but it would be a nice day to take lunch outside, maybe have a little bit of a picnic. But by the afternoon, temps are on either side of 70 degrees here in February. That is impressive warming. Now we've got some rain potential coming Wednesday. This is mostly a 20% chance of drizzle. Thursday could bring some evening showers, a little more uncertainty, but things are looking unsettled Friday into Saturday. We're going to go through that hour by hour. It's all based on when that front actually shows up here in the Tennessee Valley. But before that front does show up, what a day today. Even with the increasing clouds and the breezy winds, we'll hit a high of 70. Quick check of temps on this Tuesday morning, 30s, 40s, even some 50s.
This is your 48 First Alert Road Report, sponsored by Bankston Motorhomes.
All right, taking another look at your traffic this morning in the Fastcast. The Madison 565 right now. You can see a lot of cars out there, of course, as you'd expect the day after holiday, everyone back at work and school. But we are still looking at this accident. Actually, another accident just popped up there on 565 headed eastbound. The first one that we're looking at there is at exit 7 at Glen Hern Boulevard exit there. So just be aware of that. And it looks like another accident popped up. So we'll continue to give you more information on that as we go throughout the morning. And then also an accident in West Decatur as well. So just a lot of stuff to pay attention to. In that drive time now from Decatur to Huntsville, 59 minutes. So we'll be watching that this morning.
Yeah, not great. Well, the Reverend and pioneering civil rights activist Jesse Jackson has died. Jackson had been hospitalized recently for several health issues. He worked alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. before running for president twice in the 1980s. His activism spanned decades. Jackson was 84 years old. He's survived by his wife and 6 children. Well, right now we're asking Albertville police for more information after an officer-involved shooting. We're told the suspect in the case was airlifted to the hospital after being shot. This happened yesterday on Nixon Chapel Road. Albertville police say they were trying to arrest someone before those shots were fired, but police have not said what led to that shooting. The identity of the person who was shot has not been released. Aaliyah is now investigating. Now, this is the second officer-involved shooting in Albertville this year alone. Nicholas Pascual Gaspard was arrested earlier this month, accused of shooting at officers. Police say this all happened after he got into a fight with his brother. He's now charged with attempted murder.
Well, the Giles County Sheriff's Office should update us later today on the name of the person who was shot and killed on I-65. The Sheriff's Office says this happened late Sunday night. And when they arrived, they found someone had crashed. The driver of the car had been shot, and he later died from his injuries. A passenger who was also in the car was shot, but she is expected to be okay. Deputies believe someone in another car shot at the 2 people, but no arrests have been made.
Right now, the manager of a Decatur antique store needs your help identifying 2 men who stole $2,500 worth of watches. Now you can see the security camera footage of the incident now. 2 men in the back of Firehouse Antiques stole the timepieces on Sunday morning. And this isn't the first time something like this has happened here. Someone recently stole hundreds of dollars worth of pipes and lighters.
I would say that the economy is kind of not doing so great, and I think a lot of people are getting pretty desperate, and sometimes with the price of gold and silver up, people are willing to take bigger risks to make a little money.
If you know who those 2 thieves are, call Decatur police.
Well, right now in Limestone County, 1 man is facing several drug trafficking charges following a huge meth bust. Levon Kane was arrested by Limestone County deputies following a year-long investigation, and more arrests could be coming. Now, you can see some of those drugs on your screen right now. The Sheriff's Office tells us this case is also being investigated for potential federal charges.
This morning, 1 Madison County family is without a home after theirs burned down. You can see the damage to that mobile home on your screen here. This happened in the Keel Mountain area. Thankfully, no one was hurt. In Madison, a FedEx truck caught fire at a warehouse. This happened Sunday. You can see firefighters working to put out those large flames. No one was hurt here either.
Well, it's been just over a year since an EF1 tornado ripped through downtown Tuscumbia, and this morning we're showing you how the community has rebuilt. Now, that tornado damaged businesses and even a school. It also knocked out power for days for residents, but now things are mostly back to normal. Colbert County Emergency Management Director Jody Hitt says last year's tornado served as a good reminder to be prepared for potential severe weather.
Just stay prepared. We asked, had 3 days of perishable items, water, a gallon for each individual in the house, and weather radio, download our app.
Now, that tornado was just one of several that hit the shoals that day. Now, this is something that thankfully no one was seriously injured by.
And Alabama lawmakers pushing for harsher penalties for certain arsonists. Arson is already a felony in Alabama, but a new proposal would elevate certain cases to first-degree arson if someone sets a fire intentionally to commit theft. Under the bill, anyone convicted under the expanded definition would face a mandatory minimum of 20 years in prison. The bill was filed after someone set a Walmart on fire in Homewood last year. Representative David Faulkner says the suspect set that fire to distract attention from other suspects who were stealing.
Whether or not people can get out of that store, whether they get burned alive in the store. So what we're doing is pretty simple, is including in that definition arson in the first degree. We're including if you do this to commit a theft and you end up creating $25,000 worth of theft and damage, you can be guilty of arson in the first degree.
The bill has passed out of a House committee. The full House could vote on it as soon as this week.
Well, right now, Tennessee state troopers are investigating a crash that resulted in the death of a child. This happened in Lawrenceburg on Sunday. The driver went off the road and crashed into a pond, and they survived and only had minor injuries. Well, some Tennessee lawmakers have decided to advance a bill that targets same-sex marriages. Now, that bill says that private citizens and organizations do not have to recognize same-sex marriages. A 2015 U.S. Supreme Court decision legalized those marriages. Now, the president of the Tennessee Pride Chamber says that the measure is meant to terrify and intimidate members of the LGBT community. Now, if approved, attorneys who decline to officiate those marriages would not be disciplined. Well, some changes could be on your way to property taxes if you live in Tennessee. A new piece of legislation would prevent local governments from raising property taxes by more than 2% a year or 6% at the end of a 3-year span. Those in favor of the measure say property tax hikes can make it much harder for first-time homeowners and seniors on a fixed income.
We feel like responding to Tennesseans in this way is something responsible to do. And again, being only one of 4 states that does not do that, now is the time to take that action.
Well, recent polling shows a lot of Tennesseans are in favor of it. In fact, 90%. Tennessee is one of 4 states, like you mentioned, without some sort of property tax cap. Well, lawmakers there are also considering a measure that, if passed, would allow judges to deny bail for people charged with certain crimes. These include terrorism, second-degree murder, and aggravated rape of a child. Right now, denying bail outright is only allowed in capital murder cases.
Now to the latest on the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The Pima County Sheriff's Office says no one in the Guthrie family is a suspect. Right now, the FBI is also using some new technology to try and track her pacemaker. Investigators also have new leads on the person shown in the recently released doorbell camera footage. The FBI says the person's backpack was sold exclusively at Walmart.
It's outstanding that they've identified a primary store where that has come from, because that gives you an investigative path that you can now follow. That is something that gives them something to put their teeth into and just keep digging until they find that one lead that leads them to that suspect.
Retired police commander Jeffrey Hines says investigators are likely going through Walmart's security video and purchase data. And DNA was also found inside of Nancy's home. The Pima County Sheriff says it does not belong to Nancy or anyone close to her. She was last seen more than 2 weeks ago at her home in Tucson. Well, time right now, 7:10. Some residents in Priceville tell us something as simple as writing the name of their own city on an envelope is just not possible.
Yeah, that's because Priceville doesn't have its own mailing zip code, and that's forcing some people to use Decatur, Somerville, or even Hartselle as their mailing address instead. 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy is on your side this morning, live in front of the Priceville's post office. And Sarah Grace, this has caused a lot of problems for residents and city leaders.
Well, it's not a new issue. It's also caused a lot of confusion with home searches and even paying taxes.
Packages ended up going from my house to Decatur and sometimes even Hartselle and all over the place.
Hunter Gooch lives in Priceville, but since the city doesn't have its own zip code, she's forced to use a Decatur mailing address. Problem is that her street name exists in both cities.
If that was to be, lost or went somewhere else, I would be really upset because then I'd have to reach out to other people, be like, hey, do you have this by chance? Or, hey, I'm not lying, my package really didn't get delivered. It was very stressful because, there's multiple times where, you're buying stuff for your kids' birthdays or buying things for school that you need.
The postmaster says residents can use Priceville in their addresses, but when they do, the mail often gets returned because it's not recognized as valid. I decided to test this. If I sent a letter to Hunter Gooch addressed to Priceville, would it actually get there? This envelope here is addressed to Priceville, Alabama, not Decatur, Alabama. Now we just have to see where this envelope ends up. Over the weekend, Gooch sent me a picture of the letter I sent her. It arrived a week later. Although she's glad it made it, she says she still won't risk using Priceville as her mailing address. Local realtors I spoke with tell me this is even impacting home searches.
I know that a lot of out-of-state buyers have been impacted by this as well because they don't even know that Priceville's on the map. They've never heard of it, they don't see it on their searches, and so they're missing out on a great community. I typed in Priceville under Zillow, it only pulled up 16 listings, but when I went to my MLS, I pulled up 49 listings. So there's a lot of houses that are being missed, and a lot of buyers and sellers that aren't knowing about the houses that are out there.
Sam Heflin, the mayor of Priceville, says when residents try to order something online using a Priceville address, the system rejects it as invalid. Some businesses on the edge of city limits don't know where to pay taxes.
We'll go a month and a half, 2 months, and then we'll notice, hey, we've got this new business open, but we haven't collected any taxes from it. So we'll call Avenue, who collects our taxes. Avenue will go out and they'll send an auditor out. He'll go out, audit the business, find out that yes, they have been collecting taxes, but they've been sending them to the wrong location.
City leaders have been working since 1988 to get a zip code for Priceville. Now that just might become a reality. Congressman Dale Strong has introduced a bill that, if approved, would give Priceville its own zip code. It has already passed the House and is headed to the Senate.
It's been something that we've been fighting for a long time.
Heflin says that the city will double in size in the next 10 years. He says that they will need to add extra postal routes because of the growth, so it would just make it easier to have a zip code in Priceville. Live in Priceville, Sarah Grace Kennedy, 48 on your side.
Sarah Grace, thank you. If you have to fly soon, prepare for some extra delays at the airport. TSA agents are currently working without a paycheck due to the government shutdown. And because of that, many of them may not show up for work. Officials at Birmingham Shuttlesworth International recommend that you arrive at least 90 minutes before takeoff. One traveler says they already noticed the impacts of the shutdown.
Chaos started at Hawaii, overwhelmed skeleton crew, frustrated employees, and you can't blame them, but still, because as the days go by, the numbers start, or the money starts going away, so more frustration, I think.
Lawmakers are not expected to return to try and end the shutdown until next week. It started after legislators were unable to reach an agreement on immigration reforms.
Now, your first alert weather with meteorologist Eric Burke.
Well, good Tuesday morning, everyone. A lot of you had the day off yesterday. Hope you got outside, got some fresh air. Another good day for it today with highs around 70. But the warmest day of the week is actually coming on Thursday. Thursday will be mostly sunny to partly cloudy, unseasonably warm. But the forecast gets a lot more difficult or complicated, even just unsettled, however you want to phrase it. By the end of the week, we're tracking a front coming in. Now, this front is going to kind of stall out on top of us here in the Tennessee Valley. That means multiple rounds of rainfall will be possible. Problem is, models aren't agreeing exactly when this is going to show up, but high confidence in rainfall potentially as early as the Friday morning drive, and then continuing through Friday afternoon, evening, departing off to the east and southeast by early Saturday morning.
All right, thanks, Eric. Well, still to come, plans for a popular annual event in our area are moving forward. We'll tell you where it is up next. Well, a new audit is showing just how much Muscle Shoals has grown. The city is receiving nearly $10 million more in tax revenue than it was a decade ago. Now, city leaders presented the findings of that audit yesterday. The cost for public safety has also risen over the past several years. Council President Donnie Lindley shared when the city's population really began to spike.
You can see the growth of the city, and you can just look at the books like he gave us from 2015 till now, and you can see significant growth. Now, it's kind of flatlined just a little bit in the last few years, but from 2015 to now, it has really grown quite a bit.
The council during the meeting also decided to pause operations on the Sportsplex project in order to do some more planning. Well, you'll now need to pay a little bit more to golf at Point Mallard Park in Decatur. Under a new structure, you'll pay $15 for 9 holes if you live in Decatur. You'll also pay $31 for 1 week of 18 holes. Visitors to the city will pay $22 a day for 9 holes or $44 a week for 18.
We feel like it's a very affordable rate. If you played 5 days a week, it comes out to $6.25 a round, which we feel like is extremely affordable for everybody that wants to become a member.
There's also a new online booking system that will include some discounts.
Plans are in the works for another special Spirit of America festival in Decatur. Now, this is one of the city's biggest events, and this year will be its 60th anniversary. It will also coincide with America's 250th birthday. City leaders decided to approve $19,000 in funding for the fireworks show. The community says they're excited that the celebration will keep going. Former President Ronald Reagan once attended the Spirit of America festival back in the 80s.
America is an event that Decatur has been proud of for many years, and we want it to have continued success long term.
Now, we will, of course, keep you updated on the details when it draws closer. Now to a 48 scam alert. Scammers are pretending to be Sheffield High School students. They're claiming they need money for prom. Our media partners at the Times Daily say these teens were recently seen at different stores in Muscle Shoals and Florence. If you encounter them, don't give them any money and tell the store manager. Scottsboro High School has been reclassified after an enrollment error. The school has been placed in Class 4A for the 2026-2028 classification period. The Alabama High School Athletic Association changed classifications last month and put the school in 5A, but they fought this. Superintendent Jennifer Williams says the organization did not consider the correct attendance numbers that would have kept Scottsboro in line with its current classification.
Well, your child will soon be able to ride on some new school buses. Lawrence County school leaders just added 22 new buses to their fleet, and all of them are air conditioned. Well, happening tomorrow, Lauderdale County school students will also be dismissed early. This is happening so students can travel to Hansfield to support their teams in the regional basketball tournament. Now, all schools in the district will dismiss at 11:30 a.m. Lunch will be served, but buses will run at that time.
Now, your first alert weather with meteorologist Eric Burke.
Well, good morning once again, everyone. comfortable temperatures this morning, a little chilly in spots. You might need an extra layer of some kind, but even though we're in the 30s and 40s, we hit a high of 70 degrees this afternoon, even with increasing clouds. A lot of help from that breezy south wind gusting up to 20 miles per hour, staying warm overnight, low of 57. Overcast, maybe periods of drizzle for Wednesday. Warmest day of the week will be Thursday, high of 76. But Friday into Saturday, still some questions with the timing of this, but models have been putting out some pretty significant rainfall totals for that Friday, Saturday time frame. Could see anywhere from ½ inch to 2 inches of rain. Here are your temperatures at 720 in the 30s and 40s. We're not done with winter yet, though. Look at our temperature drop Sunday into Monday of next week. You're watching your 48 Fastcast wherever you stream. We'll be right back.
Well, measles cases are continuing to rise across the country. Now leaders with the CDC are urging you to get vaccinated. The CDC says there have been over 900 cases of measles this year, and the virus is spread when someone who's contagious might cough or sneeze or even talks. Now, getting vaccinated can dramatically reduce the number of cases.
2 doses of this vaccine is 97% effective in preventing measles cases. Plus, it protects the most vulnerable people, which are children under the age of 5.
The CDC also recommends that children receive 2 doses of the MMR vaccine. The first dose should be administered between 12 months and 15 months of age, and they say the second at 4 through 6 years old.
Well, officials with the Giles County Animal Shelter need your help. The shelter is at capacity and in desperate need of fosters. 22 dogs were taken in last week, pushing their total number to 40 dogs, but they only have 27 kennels. The shelter is asking for 2-week puppy fosters. If you're interested, you can fill out a foster application online.
Well, the Birmingham Stallions have unveiled their new uniforms for next season. They'll be wearing all gold at home, which is a nod to their 3 championships. The road uniforms will be all white with a little gold. Now, the Stallions are set to kick off the season on the road against the Louisville Kings on March 27th.
Well, another day of Olympic action has come and gone. Norway currently leads the medal count with 28 total. Italy is in second at 23. The U.S. coming in at third with 19, but there are still a lot of events ahead. You can watch all of them right here on 48.
Now, your First Alert weather with meteorologist Eric Burke.
Another exciting day of Olympic coverage. Maybe you've got the outside on the patio or the back deck TV. That would be a great way to spend your Tuesday. Drizzle possible tomorrow. It will be a cloudy, gloomy day for Wednesday. Thursday could bring some evening showers. Then we're looking at higher chances. Multiple rounds of rainfall likely coming in Friday morning, Friday afternoon, evening, potentially even into Saturday. 70 degrees for your high temperature today. Clouds will push in by the afternoon, and we are looking at some wind gusts about 20 miles per hour as we go not only through the afternoon, but continuing through the evening and overnight. Increasing clouds, like I mentioned, we are mostly cloudy by the afternoon, but really not slowing our warming at all. Tomorrow, 69, 76. The warmest day will be Thursday. Friday, as we start tracking that front coming in, some rain could linger into Saturday. And then we've got a temperature drop. Not too many people liking that, but we're back in the 40s for Sunday and Monday.
Oh, we'll definitely try to enjoy these springtime feels while we can.
I encourage you to.
Yeah, and don't put your coats away. Maybe wash them. Give them a good little wash.
Right.
All right, y'all. We'll be here throughout the morning with more news, weather, and traffic. Have a good one.